These are the only 5 tools I use as an algorithmic trader. The first tool is totally free, and it is the MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 platform. This is what the application kind of looks like, and you can use it to trade manually on your phone or on a PC. What I personally do is I have a bunch of expert advisors and I put them on the MetaTrader platform, whether it's MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, it doesn't really matter. And the expert advisors, all these little black windows that you see, they are all trading automatically for me. The second tool that I use is a VPS. What a VPS is, it stands for Virtual Private Server, and what that basically is, it's a PC that exists in the cloud. Because this is a service that someone provides, it does cost money, but there are 2 free alternatives which I personally don't use, and I'll tell you exactly why. The first free alternative is just to use your home PC at home using your own internet and your own electricity provider. The reason I don't use my home internet is because the reliance on my internet provider and electricity. Any one of those outages can cause my robots to stop working and lose connectivity for a few hours, for a few days. Every few months, my internet provider will have an outage, or there's a huge storm or some sort of weird freak accident that causes my computer or the electricity or the internet in my house to be lost. And I don't want to risk thousands and thousands of dollars on an unreliable system. Another option is a lot of brokers also provide you with a free VPS if you meet the minimum lots trading per month. And sometimes these lot sizing requirements can be quite high, like 10 lots per month. And for someone who has a small account, this might not be possible. Or if you're someone like me who prefers to trade the higher timeframes, like the 1 hour, 4 hour, or the daily timeframes, we don't get that many signals per strategy in a month. Some strategies might go for months without trading at all because it is waiting for the perfect trading conditions. These minimum lot size requirements are really bad on the psychology because it promotes overtrading, and trading is hard enough without having to worry every single month whether you're making enough lot sizes in order to meet the requirements for the broker to get the free VPS. This is why I trade my live accounts on a VPS that I pay for myself. I don't use my broker's free VPS, and I don't use my home internet provider. And I've used a lot of different VPSs in the past, and I found Hyonix to be the cheapest. So if we quickly scroll down to their pricing, so I personally use the HS3, which gives you 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is $24 a month, which is about $200-300 per year. So I would rather pay $200-300 per year instead of risking thousands and thousands of dollars in my own live trading account. A lot of people ask me, do I really need a PC or a VPS in order to do algorithmic trading? Can I run it on my phone instead? And unfortunately, the answer is no. The robot, in order to work correctly, needs to be active and always connected to the internet, because it's always monitoring the market to see, is it the right time to trade? And once it's placed an open trade, it needs to monitor and manage the open trade and know when to exit. Your phone is not the best place for this because your phone loses internet connectivity, it can run out of battery, and the application is not always running in the foreground, especially if you're scrolling Instagram instead. If you're a good trader, you might want to check out Darwinex Zero. If you're not familiar with them, they are a platform designed to reward good traders. You can get a simulated 100K account to trade and earn money from your trading. Currently, there are a total of 4 different ways to make money in Darwinex. In Silver Stage, you can get between 30 and 375K in allocation, and you can keep it for 3 months. In Gold Stage, where you can receive up to 500K in allocation and keep it for 6 months. Then there's Investor Capital, which can get into the millions and millions of dollars. And then there's the 100K permanent allocation, which comes in 2 different flavors, the instant allocation and the performance-based allocation. All these 4 different options are stackable, so you can get silver, gold, investor capital, permanent allocation, all in the one account. I've personally been trading with Darwinex for a year and a half. I've received multiple payouts from them and made it to Darwinia Gold. If you're a trader and want to make some extra money, then I have a discount code below if you decide to sign up. Thanks Darwinex for sponsoring this video. The third thing I need access to as an algorithmic trader is good quality data, because it is super important to have good data. When I'm talking about data, I mean tick data, the price movement, for example, of the Euro USD tick by tick over the past 10-20 years. All my decisions are based on data, so I don't want to use data that is incorrect or has missing years in it. Now, all brokers also do offer data within the MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 platform, but I found most of the time it is limited by tick data only to the past year. When you go back further past a year, generally the data is incomplete or it's missing a lot of information. And the quality goes from 99% down to 3% if it is even there. The best source of 10-20 years of quality tick data that I have found is Dukas Copy, and the thing is, this is totally free data. The only unfortunate thing is that the format provided by Dukas Copy is not the format that is appropriate to be read by MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5, so we need to be able to use an application that will download the data and put it in the right format that we need. Over the past few years, I've used a lot of different tools. I've used free tools, I've used cheap tools, and the best, by far the best one that has made my life so much easier is eareview.net. No, they are not paying me to say this. If you buy the product, I will get $0 from them. It is genuinely the best tool. Unlike other cheaper tools where every time you do a data download, you have to run this scripts, run that script, import it into your MetaTrader platform. And even then you still get all of these issues with data, with incomplete bars and missing data. With eareview.net, all you have to do is there's two parts to it. There's the download section where all you have to do is click the download button, and then there's the MetaTrader button, and it just works. You just run your backtest. There's no fiddling around scripts, whatever. So I do highly recommend eareview.net. The fourth thing that I use as an algorithmic trader is a strategy development software. The reason that I use a software instead of coding it up myself, even though I can code in both MQL4 and a little bit of MQL5, is that a lot of people underestimate the entire process of strategy development. The building and coding of this strategy is only 10% of all the work required in a proper strategy development process. The other 90% of the time is actually testing, running a different in-sample, out-to-sample periods, running a Monte Carlo, thousands and thousands of different tests of Monte Carlo, running walk-forward optimization. And the build process, if you decided to do the coding yourself, takes a long time. And I don't want to spend most of my time in the build process. I want to fail fast, fail often, find a strategy, build it, test it. If it's good, keep it. If it's crap, move along. And most of the strategies I test are actually pretty crap. At the time of recording, I've so far tested 3 different software that helps me build strategies for me. The first software that I used was about 3,000 AUD per year. And they had a very, very aggressive sales cycle, always trying you to force you to buy more products. And I really didn't like it, especially since they did not have at all any robustness tests. It was all about the build process. I don't remember them having Monte Carlo or walk-forward optimization. It was all just about the build process, which I now know is 10% of the work. The second software that I tried for about 2 years cost about 3,000 euros, and I found that even though it was okay, it didn't have a lot of the advanced functionality that I was looking for, which brings me to the third software. This is the software that I am currently using today. It is by far the most advanced out of everything that I have used. And from a pricing perspective, it is also the cheapest. So if I head over to pricing, I switch over to the one-time payment, you can see the most expensive version is $2,900, but you can get a 20% discount if you use the code Lisa, which I will post a link to below, which gives you access to the lifetime ultimate package. Algorithmic trading is not about having that one amazing strategy that's going to magically print money for you forever for the rest of your life. It's about having a set process that you can follow for the rest of your life that will adapt to the changing environment, the changing marketplace. The fifth tool that I use as an algorithmic trader is I did go and purchase a dedicated PC for Strategy Quant. Running Monte Carlo simulations and walk forward optimizations using strategy quant takes up a lot of time, a lot of processing power, and a lot of memory. And I don't want to interrupt it while it's running all those heavy tasks. My other PC I use for my everyday tasks like recording and editing YouTube videos, so you might not need a dedicated PC. But even if you weren't a YouTuber, I think it would still be beneficial to have a dedicated PC that you can't interrupt if you wanted to do check your emails or something like that, because you might accidentally close strategy quant and then you've lost hours and hours worth of work. Now, today I talked a little bit about how even as a developer, I don't code up my own strategies because that is 10% of the work of the entire strategy building process. If you want to hear more about why I don't do that, then watch this video right here, which I think you will find useful. Thanks. Bye.